Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Joe. Happy birthday to you.
All right.
Before you blow out the candles, you have to make a wish out loud.
Out loud now?
No,
It won't come true if he says it out loud.
dreams have come true.
Oh. He found Linda.
Yes.
All right. I hope and pray for a time when I can practice my guitar in my house and not get into trouble.
Glad you said it out loud. Too bad that's not going to happen.
I'll keep everybody informed on
Too
how
bad
that's
that's not going to happen.
Maybe you need to invest in some expensive earphones.
There you go.
Yeah, see, not
Maybe
earphones
you
for
need a
me,
bigger
but
house.
for her.
Don't they make that?
Mom, will you tell her how long you had to listen to me play the guitar?
He used to bring all his friends and they'd eat everything in our refrigerator.
If anybody should complain, it should be these two because I did not know how to play when I was living with them.
All right, everybody, now that he's blown out the candles, John is starting with you.
Oh boy.
Just say something about Joe just say something about Joe.
Just something about Joe.
Just something about Joe.
Well,
Stand up.
Okay. Well, I don't think Joe, when Ernie was in Vietnam, Joe wasn't born, right?
Oh, yes.
I think it was Steven
Oh,
actually,
you're
but I'm
right.
thinking of when I was yeah. But because I was gonna say one time I babysat all you guys, but it was him. He was so bad. He cried all night. So you were just a twinkle yet. No, I just wanted to say that at your dad's funeral, when you played that song,
Yes.
is when I just really, really realized what a huge talent.
That was one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life. I couldn't even control, myself. And
But
I
just
know that
even, the
it
heart.
felt good to be able to
Yeah.
do that,
So it was good to see your heart, but also your talent. It was amazing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, John. I remember that time, I don't know where we went, Linda and I or whatever, but when we came back, they had Stephen, Nancy had Stephen in her arms and she was running toward me and just like, take him!
No, you guys left me alone with all of them. All of them. They were asleep, but not him. He was just baby and cried and cried. It was just only me.
Okay,
Oh my God.
okay, who's next? Who's next? Something about Joe.
When you guys were staying with us in Arrowhead before you went to the green,
Village Green?
Village Green.
What was the Village Green?
The Oliver Cardwell. The Dark Days.
So you guys were staying with us. And those were really fun times for us because we would stay up all night playing Monopoly.
Yeah.
Remember who was that kid? He don't know nothing. He ain't nobody. You ain't nobody. You ain't nobody. Remember that? That kid, you ain't nobody. No, they would all say that about some kids. It was Village Green. You ain't nobody.
Was it Michael Bromley?
Ain't nobody. No, it was somebody we didn't. But we were like, what is that kid? Ain't nobody. Anyway, Joe, we would break up into partners to teams in Monopoly. Me and Joe were always partners, and we would steal from the bank.
Yes.
Never knew.
And I remember, Kay, driving around in your car with one of your friends. I remember you were like listening to rap music so loud.
I still do that. We like that music.
I was like, Kay, how do you listen to it so loud? She was just like, that's the best way to
I like
listen to
playing your guitar.
it. It's like, wait a second. Whoa.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so we didn't know about that. So, Linda?
I just remember Joe being the little guy, and he never really wanted to go fishing either.
Yeah.
Everybody wanted to go fishing.
We knew
but
I was
Joe-
different back then.
Hi, Mrs. Steven. Toby and Ernest, they all, I mean, I don't think you were always real crazy about it either. You would go, but Joe would not go.
Yeah, I'm still that way.
Okay, anybody else care to volunteer something about Joe that you want us to know?
Come on,
Maybe
Steven, let's hear it.
Yes.
Well, Joe pretty much got me started in my computer career. He gave, I really never knew about computers much, and then he gave me computers to play with and work on and rebuild and rearrange, and that's when I started really going for a passion for computers and stuff.
Yep, and the good thing is that, you know, you and your family will be able to live a decent life if you put in 50 hours a week, and if you bust your butt, and, you know, and if you always just keep learning, man, you'll be fine.
I used to spend hours on that thing.
Go talk to Jonah when you're ready to buy your first house.
I sell house
She's never too busy for your referral.
Never too busy, yeah. Okay.
Steven has something to say.
Stephen?
Stand up,
Joe,
Steven.
He's
Stand up, Steven.
been a big inspiration with me in the gambling business.
I thought that he was going to say in the guitar business because Steven is now the #2 guitar player in the family. He put Ernest out of his spot years ago. And he's got you beat too, son. He's got everybody beat. He's got Toby can play Fly By Night, but that's about it.
Fly by night.
So who's number one?
That'll be me. Until further notice, I have a firm grip on that.
You are
Wait
so
till
humble.
YouTube shows up, then I'll get some
You
more.
are very humble, Joe.
That is.
Yes, wait till he gets internet.
Now that Steven's going to be able to YouTube guitar lessons, I could be out, in the next year.
You're going to be busy being on computers.
Yes, and I do think that Steven and I, actually, I didn't quite get you into it. Dad got us into doing blackjack. And,
yeah, he was the.
He had a lot of practice.
But Dad was the luckiest guy on earth. This was no joke. Mom, he was seriously lucky.
I'm the witness that he was lucky.
He did the stupidest stuff.
Remember
that he could
those
win.
dark days you were talking about? He wasn't always lucky. Trust me.
Well,
She was there.
when Dad lived in what was it, Bicentennial, when it was we would go. I think you and Ernest lived with them, and me and Toby lived with Mom. And I would go over to your guys' house. There would be nothing to eat. It would be like the most depressing.
Okay, who's next?
No, I'm not ready to quit yet. And then there would be Dad. He would be passed out on the floor, and his wallet was on the ground, and it was this big with money. He would have gone out gambling. I don't know. He was gambling a lot.
I got a confession. I did take some money.
I did.
You got that on tape.
Yes.
Mom was wondering why I wanted to spend so much time over at Dad's. That was the only reason
I
why.
was just thinking about child support.
Dad was loaded. He was loaded, and there was not a thing to eat in the house. It was it was depressing.
Well, let's move on. Okay. You know what? I just remember a story about
Never knew
Joe.
it.
No, never.
When I worked in a convenience store, sometimes they would have to be alone at night because I worked from 3 to 11, and I remember Joe calling, "Mom, Steven's killing me!" I had to leave the cash register. I had to get a stranger to do it so I could take him to the emergency room.
Those were the days.
His arm was broken or
There's
something.
that bad kid.
And then they found a BB in his hand.
Yeah.
They took the X-ray.
Steven broke my wrist the first time.
And then he said, "Where did this BB come from? He's got a BB." And that's when my brother shot me.
Ernest.
Oh my God. No wonder you're
Joe
like
was just
I thought it just ricocheted, but it actually went in. I mean, it was like I was bleeding all over the place.
He was holding the target.
Yeah, I was like, "Here, Ernest, shoot this." Yeah, it's like, what part of dumb? I mean, I'm like, "Here, Ernest, shoot this." He didn't say, "Joe, I think that's a bad idea." He was like pumping his BB gun. It's like, and then I was just bleeding everywhere.
That's what brothers are for.
Oh my gosh, I'll never forget that. He says, "Oh, my brother shot me."
Oh my God.